There are two other cool things about this we're going to ask you to consider. One is, Barbara is not going to answer a single question I ask her out loud. She's going to answer every one of the questions inside of her own head. I don't even have to know what the issue is to help coach somebody. The second thing I will ask you to watch for is her nonverbal signals. You're going to be watching to see, can you tell by what she does nonverbally that she's had enough time to process? Thank you so much. So you know what we're going to do. You've got the big picture of what the steps are. So are you ready? Yeah, you can say yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So listen, and I know you know what your goal is, and you know that today is right here. Okay, this will be today. If this is today, how far into the future on this timeline, we've got this timeline, how far into the future is when you'd like to reach the goal? Go to that place. Okay, so this is the future. This is today. This is our timeline.
All right, step one. Got to establish the timeline from today to the timeline the person wants to work on. Remember, this is very individual. We don't know what Barbara's thinking at this point in time, but she has something in mind, and she's given us a physical sense about what that timeline is.
I'm going to ask you to imagine right here is the day that you have reached this goal, and you're ready to celebrate because there's evidence and things happening that prove to you that you've had success. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to step into that. Now you're kind of looking at it, but when you step into that spot, you're going to move from looking at it to be really in it. And I want you to feel that day when all these things that you're seeing, the colors, the images, the shapes, the objects, all that's there, the sounds are coming into your ears. It's at that moment, and you're ready to celebrate. I want you to feel that moment before you just step into that moment.
Step two is about creating the vividness. Think about the questions that Rob asked, the prompts that he offered, to help to create a more vivid picture for Barbara.
You can step out whenever you're ready. Okay, come on this way. Perfect. Okay, so this is today. This is the box. This is today. In your life today, there are certain forces. There are people, resources, your own feelings, your own history. There's lots of stuff that's helping you to move you, be a force to help you reach that vision. I'm going to ask you to just do a quick inventory of what are some of the things that are already in place that are going to help you move to that place. There are also some forces in your life, not good or bad or right or wrong, just the reality of your life today. But there are also some forces that are likely to hold you right where you are. Things that you lack or things that are in place that will be likely to hold you. Yeah, I'm going to ask you just to inventory what those things might be. Okay, you can step out of that. Okay, yeah. Ooh, okay. You ready? We're going to step back here for a second. Right over there. Now, here's what I want you to do. You see this line? I'm going to ask you to look at it in a funny way. It's not yours. It's just some person. And they have this vision. And they have these forces and this level of dissatisfaction if they don't get out of the box. And this person's really aware of it. If you're going to give this person some suggestions, what would be the first 4 or 5 steps that anybody would have to take in this situation? What would be the first 3 steps that somebody would have? This is our last spot. I'm going to ask you to step back on the line. I'm going to ask you to turn back up. So you're in a kind of a place of wisdom. Like this was your vision, and you kind of can look back from that place, future out, and look back and say, I reached that. I did that. And you can see that there's this gap that has to be bridged, and you can remember yourself back here, October 2007. If you were going to share an insight, if you were going to send a message back to Barb here today from that place of wisdom, what would be the message you would send her? I know that some of you went with Barb and maybe moved by just having imagined it. I asked Barb 2 or 3 questions, and I'm going to share with you what those are and ask her to share her responses, because these are some of the things we use to indicate how hard the person worked. Without telling me the message, can you tell me the quality of the message and the kind of message that you sent back to yourself today?
When I was really in it and involved, I wanted to do something better.
And you know the message you sent back when you were in that place? Was that a fairly short message?
Yes.
And did the message that says that you're responsible for doing this? One of the things that comes about this is that the efficacy for creating the change, you know, you're the only one driving your bus. And if the message is a fairly, you know, this is yours, believe in yourself, do it, it's a thing that says this is a person who's taking the responsibility and the efficacy of that. If it's a big, long, convoluted message about what other people are going to have to do, not so much.
Does having gone through this process with whatever it is was going on in your mind make you more committed to whatever it was, whatever your vision was?
Yes, the big part of this was, once I was in this box and I was there feeling it, I didn't want to leave. I did not want to get out. I wanted to be there or keep going further.
So tell us what you felt. You know what I mean, in terms of emotions.
A determination,
Okay,
a determination of, I'm going to do this.
that was before you got in the box or after you got out of it? After you got to the place?
It was before I got to that place.
Okay, and then after you stepped out of that place, what was the emotion?
I'm going back.
Okay.
And this is the thing about raising the consciousness of dissatisfaction. A lot of us can live with it day by day by day, but if you start saying, wow, it's 4 months from now, I'm still in the box, I'm going to feel terrible. And so you don't want the person to be in pain, but you do want them to know that there's going to be some real dissatisfaction if they don't do something. Can we thank Barbara?